Okay. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Ara. I'm running on my third iced coffee of the morning. It is barely past sunrise in Seoul time zones, and I have so many thoughts. I genuinely cannot contain them.
And I'm Silas. I am fully caffeinated. I have been vibrating since I read today's headlines, and I need to talk about all of this right now.
Today, we are covering Eli Lilly having what I can only describe as a main character moment. The House finally ending a shutdown that has been going on so long, it practically has its own lore, Live Golf apparently dying in real time, and Netflix deciding to become TikTok, but like in a blazer.
There is so much happening. Where do we even start?
Eli Lilly. We start with Eli Lilly because I need to process this out loud with another human being.
Okay, yes, go.
So Wall Street had a number. They had an expectation. They said $17.62 billion in Q1 revenue. And Eli Lilly looked at that number and said, no, we're doing $19.8 billion. We said what we said.
That is not beating expectations. That is walking past expectations without making eye contact.
It is the corporate equivalent of acing an exam and then casually leaving the building before the teacher even collects the papers. And it's up 56% compared to Q1 last year.
All because of GLP-1 drugs, weight loss and diabetes medications, Mounjaro and Zepbound specifically.
Mounjaro's revenue more than doubled, up 125% to $8.66 billion in worldwide Q1 sales. That is not a number, that is a statement.
And Zepbound, the weight loss drug, brought in $4.16 billion in U.S. sales alone, up 80% year over year.
80%! And Lilly now owns 60.1% of the U.S. obesity and diabetes market this quarter. Novo Nordisk, which makes Ozempic, is sitting at 39.4%.
So Lilly has fully lapped its biggest competitor. The company raised its full-year sales outlook by $2 billion. They're now projecting potentially $85 billion in sales this year.
And the next big test is their new weight loss pill, Foundayo, which just got FDA approval last month. Novo's Wegovy pill got a 3-month head start, but Lilly's CEO Dave Rick said more than 20,000 people have already started Foundayo, and about 1,000 new people started every single day.
1,000 people a day. That is the population of a small town switching to this pill daily.
Okay, but wait, because it gets more interesting. The FDA is now proposing to block semaglutide and tirzepatide, those are Novo's and Lilly's active ingredients, from being obtainable in bulk by compounders.
Meaning the copycat makers, companies like Hims and Hers that produce cheaper versions.
Exactly. If that proposal goes through, the generic GLP-1 market could basically collapse, which is a massive deal for millions of people who rely on those lower-cost options.
And speaking of GLP-1 drugs reshaping everything, this part got me. Magnum Ice Cream said portion control products helped offset slower treat sales because consumers are shifting habits. And Hershey CEO said gum and mint sales are sharply up because of something called Ozempic breath.
Ozempic breath is now a market force. We live in a simulation.
A simulation where weight loss drugs are restructuring the ice cream and candy industries. I need a moment.
Take your moment. I'll keep going. Apple also dropped earnings yesterday, and it was, again, extremely good. Services revenue hit a record $30.98 billion in fiscal Q2. iPhone sales rose 2% to around $57 billion. CEO Tim Cook called it the company's best March quarter ever, with double-digit growth across every geographic segment.
iPhone is almost 20 years old, and it is still the best-selling product the company makes. That is insane when you think about it.
It is the Beyoncé of consumer electronics, still headlining, still selling out.
That is the most accurate analogy you have ever made on the show.
I know, I surprised myself. Okay, let's talk about the DHS shutdown, because this one has been going on so long.
The longest partial shutdown in U.S. history, and yesterday the House voted to approve funding for most of the Department of Homeland Security, ending it.
Without their paychecks, TSA agents had been calling out sick. Airport security lines were becoming a whole situation.
House Republicans had been blocking it, but the Senate passed it unanimously back in March. Eventually, the moderate wing of the party applied enough pressure, and yesterday it went through.
The package includes no money for federal immigration enforcement, which Democrats are counting as a win.
So airports can breathe again, literally.
And on the economic front, GDP grew 2% in Q1, up from just 0.5% in Q4, which sounds like good news.
But inflation also came along for the ride. It rose to 3.2% in March, up 0.2%. And the Fed's preferred measure, which includes gas and groceries, jumped to 3.5%.
The closure of the Strait of Hormuz because of the ongoing conflict in the Middle East has sent oil prices up significantly. Gas is now over $4.30 a gallon.
So the economy is growing, but it's expensive growth. It's like getting a promotion, but your rent went up the same week.
That is exactly what it is. Okay, LIV Golf. I need to talk about LIV Golf.
LIV Golf is having the worst week.
Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, the PIF, announced it's stopping funding for LIV Golf, the league it helped co-found in 2021. Just done, walking away.
The PIF poured more than $5 billion into LIV over the years. It was reportedly spending $100 million per month on the league this year alone.
$100 million a month, and the league was still losing money. It was bleeding out while spraying cash at golfers with contracts worth up to $300 million.
Top talent came over from the PGA Tour, but sustained U.S. fan interest just never materialized. And now the current season ends in August, and after that, nobody knows what happens.
The PGA Tour is not exactly rolling out the welcome mat either. The tour CEO said this week, and I'm paraphrasing, there were rules and they were broken. 4 elite players were recently offered a way back, but only one took the deal at a cost of up to $90 million in re-entry fees.
So if you jumped ship for LIV, you might be paying $90 million to come back. That is the most expensive regret I've ever heard of.
It's the golf equivalent of ghosting someone for 3 years and then texting, hey, and being charged $90 million for the audacity.
I'm putting that on a poster. Okay, Netflix is entering its short-form era, and I have feelings.
Netflix launched a feature called Clips as part of a new app design rolled out in the US and 8 other countries yesterday. It's a short-form vertical video feed, like scrolling, but it serves you clips from shows and movies in the Netflix library.
So instead of spending 20 minutes deciding what to watch, you scroll clips until something grabs you.
And eventually, it will also feature podcast clips and live event content. They'll also let users pick genre collections like romance or reality TV to personalize the feed. Netflix's streaming rivals, Peacock and Disney Plus, have also recently launched vertical video features. The whole industry is moving this direction. Because when you are waiting for the bus, you want 30 seconds, not 3 hours of Martin Scorsese.
Nothing against The Irishman. It is a masterpiece, just not a commute masterpiece.
Quick stat before we wrap up, facial procedures in the U.S. increased 19% last year. The top 3 were nose jobs, facelifts, and eyelid surgeries. And the theory, per the New York Times, is that young people are spending on cosmetic procedures partly because other big purchases, like homes, feel completely out of reach.
That is genuinely one of the most layered economic observations I've heard recently. People can't afford houses, so they're investing in their faces.
The economy is a different kind of beast right now.
And a few quick headlines before we go. U.S. senators voted to ban themselves from trading on prediction markets like Kalshi and Polymarket over insider trading concerns.
Maine's governor dropped out of a Senate race, clearing the way for a candidate who is an oyster farmer and a Marine veteran, which is the most interesting combination of credentials I've ever heard.
President Trump pulled his Surgeon General nominee and replaced her with a radiologist and former TV contributor.
Amazon is reportedly looking at reviving The Apprentice with Donald Trump Jr. as a potential host.
And The Devil Wears Prada 2 opens in theaters today, 20 years after the original. The internet has been waiting for this.
Florals for spring. Groundbreaking.
I cannot believe we both said that with a straight face.
We are professionals.
Debatable.
Okay, that's our show for today. Eli Lilly is out here owning the weight loss drug market. Apple is still running the consumer tech game. The DHS shutdown is finally over. Live Golf is on life support. Netflix wants your scroll time, and your senators can no longer bet on themselves.
It's a lot. It's always a lot. That's why we're here doing this, together, at whatever ungodly hour you're listening from.
Wherever you are in the world, on the subway, on a night bus, lying on your floor at 2 a.m, we see you, we are you.
Thanks for listening. Stay curious, stay loud, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Bye.